What is up, everyone? It's Crypto1 here, and today I'm bringing you my Xbox 360 game collection once again. This video has been requested a lot from many people, from many sources. It's been requested. This is going to cover my Xbox 360 and Xbox One games. This weekend I should be uploading a video saying all the digital games I have, so you guys will get that as well. Let's get right into it, because this video is going to be 20 plus minutes anyway. So, get my timer ready, and we should be good to go. Here's my timer. Alright, here's my timer. Sorry about that. And here we go. First game is Alpha Protocol, an RPG, a lot like Mass Effect in my opinion. It's a pretty fun game. I haven't played through the whole thing. I played through probably about half of it. It's pretty good. Next up is Anarchy Reigns, made by one of my favorite developers of all time, Platinum Games. They've made some great 360 games. I can't wait for Scalebound to come out on Xbox One. I'm absolutely going to get that. Anarchy Reigns is a good game. The online, when I played it, was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either, so I like that one. Battlefield 3 Luna Edition. Battlefield 3 was kind of good and bad in a way. The campaign wasn't anything special. Multiplayer was pretty fun, but I mean, Battlefield 4 was more glitchy than Battlefield 3, but Battlefield 3, the maps just didn't appeal to me in that game. They got repetitive, and you just kept playing the same ones over and over again, in my opinion. Next up is Bayonetta, again, made by Platinum Games. It's fantastic, like, RPG / third-person shooter / action adventure game. A lot of chaos in this one. Very, very fun. I highly recommend this game. It's one of my favorite 360 games. It's very underrated too. Alright, what's next? Next up is Binary Domain, another Platinum Games game. This one is a lot like one of my favorite Xbox 360 game of all time. I'll have to get that later. But this is a game, you're a human trying to defend your squadron against robots. Very good third-person shooter. The story isn't that bad, and it's actually pretty fun. So I recommend Binary Domain. I think it's only like $6 now, $7. Bioshock 1, this next one. Xbox 360 exclusive at the time. This is a very, very good game. Not my favorite Bioshock. Favorite Bioshock has to be Bioshock Infinite, because that was ironically the first one I played. I went back and played the first two after playing it. But yeah, Bioshock 1 is my second favorite, and Bioshock 2 is probably last. But I mean, Bioshock 2 is underrated in my opinion. A lot of people hated it. And speak of the devil, here is good old Bioshock 2. This has probably the best cover art of the three, and I didn't open some of those games, but I have every one of them. Bioshock game, excuse me. I have every one of them. This is the game of the year. I mean, as I said, Bioshock 2 was really pooped on, but I mean, the DLC that came out with this was amazing. I tried to get my hands on it, but they don't sell it on the Xbox store anymore, so I have to either get it off eBay, Amazon, or just not play it, and that's what I really want to play. Anyone out there has it, I'll be willing to buy it off you. Next up, Bioshock Infinite. I have the reverse cover on it. Let's open this. Oops. There we are. Bioshock Infinite. Arguably the best looking game in the Xbox 360. Fantastic first-person shooter, great story, just great gameplay, and I'd highly recommend the game. One of my favorite 360 games. Bulletstorm, the Epic Edition, very underrated first-person shooter here, very unique in its way, great graphics-wise, up there with Bioshock Infinite, actually. The collectibles in this game aren't bad. The story's not anything special, but it's fun to play through. And I recommend getting this. It's very cheap now, and you'll have fun playing it. It's also humorous in its own ways. Call of Duty Black Ops 1, my favorite Call of Duty of all time. I love the kill streaks, love the maps, love the era. Campaign's fantastic, zombies amazing. Nothing not really to like about Black Ops 1. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it a lot. Next up is Black Ops 2. My second favorite Call of Duty of all time. Black Ops 1 and 2 were amazing. Black Ops 3 just announced a couple weeks ago. I should be getting Black Ops 3. Next up is The Club. I've hardly played any of this, but I've heard good things about it, so I'll be looking to play this. I think it's free. I know the big part about selling. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The big reason this game sold is it has like 48 single player levels, so it has a lot of gameplay apparently. And I mean, I'm getting a capture card soon, so hopefully I'll play through this for you guys, and I'll post a video because I haven't played through it at all. Next up is Crackdown 1. Fantastic game. For those of you who are out there, like, you know, maybe 10, 12 years old, and your parents are like, no, you can't play Grand Theft Auto because you're not old enough. Go ask to get Crackdown. It is a lot like GTA, but this is a lot more cartoonish, not nearly as much nudity, not nearly as much blood and violence. You're taking down gangs, and you're technically a cop, so I mean, fantastic game, Crackdown 1. The online co-op is amazing, and it's a lot of fun, the co-op, so I recommend Crackdown any day of the week. Crysis 3, first-person shooter, arguably up against Bioshock Infinite and Bulletstorm. Some of the best graphics in the 360. Compared to Crysis 2, though, it's a little bit of an upgrade, but it was kind of a disappointment because I pre-ordered this game. I had high expectations for it, though, and it kind of let me down. But the campaign was fun, the multiplayer wasn't awful, it's just sometimes the matchmaking in that game really sucked, and like, had bad servers, so hopefully they updated that, and I'll get back to it. Hopefully releasing a video or two of it for you guys. Oops. Dead Island 1. Free roam zombie fighting game. Fantastic. Online shaky cam. Shout out. I think it's online co-op? Yeah, online multiplayer and co-op. Dead Island 1 is amazing. Dead Island 2 is coming out, I think 2 years, a year and a half, one of those. I'll probably get that. I recommend Dead Island 1. If you're going to get Dead Island 2, you should probably play Dead Island 1 first. Divinity 2, Ego Dragonus. I'm going to try to balance my hand here, but this is a very underrated game in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people didn't play it because Skyrim came out at the time, but Skyrim came out a little after this. I think maybe a year after it. Let's see, when was this? I should have done research. That was 2009. This is 2 years after it. But I mean, a lot of people were playing Oblivion at this time. Skyrim was just announced. People weren't really paying attention to this game. I think it got overlooked, honestly. The reviews for it were pretty bad, but I mean, you get to play as a dragon and a human, and you can do that in Skyrim. We have to buy DLC for it. It all comes in this game. It's less than $8 now, probably. I recommend it. I mean, granted, the graphics aren't anything like they used to be, but it's still pretty fun. Far Cry 3. After playing, I bought the Far Cry. No, I borrowed the Far Cry collection off my friend for the 360. I played through that, Far Cry 1 and 2. Far Cry 3 was the worst Far Cry in my opinion. Far Cry 4 is pretty good. I never got hooked into Far Cry 3. I played through like half of it and then stopped playing. Far Cry 4 is better, but I mean, Far Cry 3 is still good, considering I didn't like it. Enslaved Odyssey to the West, a good third-person adventure / puzzle game. Very good story, very good graphics-wise, and I mean, I recommend it. This was overlooked a lot, and this is if you look up like top 10 underrated Xbox 360 games, it's still on a lot of lists. So I mean, it's pretty good. I think you should play it. And I mean, going back to Enslaved for a second. The story in that is a lot better than I expected it to be, because when I was reading like the reviews for it, the main downfall was like there's no story, and I played it and the story was fantastic. It was Fable 3. Trying to get that off, but it's the only Fable I've ever played. I know did a disjustice. I mean, I never got hooked into it. I played through probably a quarter of it, and I just never really went back to it. I mean, I've heard really good things about it, and I should get back to playing it. Hopefully I will someday. Next up is Tom Clancy's End War, and a war strategy game where you control the battlefield. This is a very fun game, actually. I play it. A friend of mine and I bought it, and we played against each other once, and now like the servers are really bad. I'm not even sure if they're up anymore. We played it like last summer, almost a whole year ago, and yeah, this is a very fun game. I recommend it because there isn't really anything like it out now, so I say give it a try, and if you like it, maybe we'll get some more war strategy games in the future. Gears of War 2, the steel bookcase. Gears of War 2, fantastic. I love playing Gears of War 2 and 3. I never played 1 or Judgment because I heard Judgment was awful. Never really went into looking to buy Gears of War 1. So, I mean, I'll hopefully get Gears of War 1 soon. But, I mean, Gears of War 2 was the first one I played. But, however, Gears of War 3, my favorite Gears of War, was the Horde mode, the online multiplayer, the campaign. This game was amazing. The online co-op is fantastic. I think if you really want, like, split screen co-op, that's what I'm talking about, but if you want to play a good game online with friends, Gears of War might be the way to go. Golden Axe Beast Rider, one of the worst looking games I have played on the 360. Trust me, if you go on IGN and look up this game, I think it has like a 1. It doesn't deserve a 1, it deserves more like a 5 or a 6. Granted, it's not a great game, it's not as bad as they say it is. A lot like Divinity 2, in my opinion, very underrated. But, I mean, I would recommend this game. It's very cheap right now. I bought it because I never heard of it or saw it before. And I read the reviews. It wasn't good. So I'm like, well, hopefully I can prove them wrong. And then I didn't prove them completely wrong. Granted, the game still has a lot of issues. It's not as bad as the 1 that they gave it. Halo 3. Man, if you haven't played Halo 3, whew, one of the best games on 360. It's definitely my top 3. Top 5. And probably my top 3, but I mean, Halo 3 blew me away at the time, and still blows me away if I go back and play it on the Master Chief Collection. Halo 3 ODST. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just DLC for Halo 3. No, it's a completely different game. Arguably one of the best Halos of all time. The story in this was fantastic. The gameplay was amazing. And it's just, like, when you play through this game, you can't help but get attached to this story, and I don't know how people get criticized so much. It's because it was a spin-off at the time. Halo 4, best multiplayer in a Halo game of all time. Halo 4. Best story? Yeah, not really, but I mean, the multiplayer was a huge step up, so Halo 4 is pretty good. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. I don't need that, because, you know, guess what I got? Boosh, Halo 1. Original. But, I mean, going back to this, I never really played through this. I played through it like the first 3 levels, and I played multiplayer, like 2 maps, matched the multiplayer, and I didn't play it again because a lot of other games were coming out at the time. Excuse me, like Skyrim came out at that time. I bought Skyrim. I never played Skyrim either. Honestly, I should probably go back and play it, but I don't have to because the Master Chief Collection has it again. So, I mean, that's probably one of the games in this collection I really wish I played, but I don't have to. Halo Reach. Man, I want to talk about a good story. Halo Reach is right up there with the best of the Halos. Halo Reach is by far one of the most compelling stories of a Halo, in my opinion. 6 Spartans, and I mean, that is just... It really brings the whole Halo series together, despite being a spin-off, as some people say. Halo Wars... a war strategy game, much like Tom Clancy's End War, except with Halo. I never got past the level where you have to help the airplanes survive, like the attack and escape with all civilians on it. I never got past that level, however far that is in the game. But I mean, this game, my friend loves it. I never really play it. I never really play it that much, but I mean, from what I remember, it's fun. I just went back to regular Halo where I can control Master Chief because I really like doing the shooting instead of commanding the shooting. Just Cause 1, I recently bought this. Haven't bought, it's not even a word. Haven't bought Just Cause 2 yet. Just Cause 3 comes out this year, I think, so maybe I'll get that, but pretty fun game from when I played. I mean, nowhere near the caliber of GTA or Crackdown or Saints Row. Like, now, I think Just Cause 2 is a lot better, so I should probably play that. And Just Cause 3 looks pretty good from what we've seen so far. Max Payne 3, a great story. Multiplayer is pretty fun. I haven't beaten the campaign yet. The story, I've played probably 3/4 of it, and it's been a blast. The story is fantastic. And Max Payne 3 is one of Rockstar's most underrated games, I think, because that's right up there with Bully, I think. Medal of Honor Warfighter Limited Edition. I had the Steelbook case right up there. Great multiplayer game when you find a match, but it takes way too long to find a match. Need for Speed Rivals, my favorite racing game. I played a free roam racing game. If anyone's played Forza Motorsport 2, mean, Forza Horizon 2 is a lot like Forza Horizon, except a lot more action-packed, I think, and I would recommend this over Forza, I think, Need for Speed Rivals. Next up is Rage Anarchy Edition, a free-roam first-person shooter with online co-op. There's also a split-screen co-op. I mean, split-screen missions, which are fun. So, I mean, I recommend this game. I haven't played through the whole thing. It kind of gets freaky at some point. So, I mean, it's made by Bethesda, so it's not awful. But there's some points where, like, if you are under the age, I'll say, of 12 or 14, you might get freaked out. It's a pretty good game, actually. Red Faction Guerrilla, arguably the most destructive game I have, and it's one of the most fun games I have. I love Red Faction series. Red Faction Armageddon was not that great. Red Faction Guerrilla was the best one in the series, in my opinion. Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played it really at all. I've played online with my friends a couple times, and I haven't played, I'll say, past an hour in the campaign. So it's arguably one of the games I bought, never got into it. So I mean, Red Dead just never hooked me. Except is Singularity, one of the most underrated games in this 360 console. Very good first-person shooter made by Activision, same people who make Call of Duty, who published Call of Duty. Made by Raven Studios, who helped with, I think, Ghosts. So, I mean, Ghosts was awful, but I think they also helped with Advanced Warfare, which wasn't awful, which wasn't terrible. The multiplayer in this game is fantastic. Monsters versus humans. Campaign, very good, very great gameplay. Highly recommend Singularity. I was hoping they'd come out with some sort of sequel on the current gen consoles, but nothing so far. Skyrim. Haven't played past 40 minutes and probably never will. I heard great things, never got into it. Skyrim's the one, like, I guess you call it what? Open world RPG? Open world game? Such as, like, Divinity 2 and Golden Axe, I never got into. I've heard great things, and I just stay with the underrated guys, personally. Spec Ops: The Line. Great war shooter here. I'm trying to remember if it's first person, third person. I played it, I'd say, 2-3 years ago. It's fantastic. The story, I remember literally tearing up in the story. I mean, I was probably, 2-3 years ago, I was 13, 14. But, Spec Ops: The Line is fantastic. You can shoot the sand out from enemies, make them fall. Shoot the glass out from enemies, make them fall through. Shoot a wall behind an enemy. A glass wall, sand will fall through and bury them alive. Some tough decisions I remember in the campaign in that game. Fantastic. Highly recommend Spec Ops: The Line. 2 Human. Very rare game to find, actually, because they're destroying all copies of it due to a contract infringement. You know what I mean. Very hard game to find. However, it is very fun. Silicon Knights did a pretty good job. I like the game, half god, half man. And, if only they didn't breach that contract, there would be a 2 Human 2 and 3, which I would have loved to play. Next up is Turok. Game I played through probably over half of it. You're humans versus dinosaurs. Same thing happened in multiplayer, humans versus dinosaurs. Very fun. You have to be kind of sneaky in the campaign. It's not really mission for mission. It's like one big mission, but they go right into each other sometimes. That's pretty cool, and I like Turok. I recommend it. Here's the golden ticket to the Xbox 360/PS3. The best game on the Xbox 360 for this generation is Vanquish, a third-person action shooter where you have a boost shoot, slow motion, robots everywhere, robot bosses. You fight on monorails, on moving trains, on a collapsing bridge. You fight any situation you can probably think it's in this game. A decent story. That's the only thing that can hold this game back, is like the story isn't up there with the great games of this generation. But gameplay-wise and entertainment-wise, this is the top game on the Xbox 360. You are getting a bargain for the money it's selling for right now. Highly recommend Vanquish. Go out and buy it. Do yourself a great favor. Viking Battle for Asgard, another Skyrim-like game, but I got into this a lot more. You recruit Vikings along the way. You have battles this size on the back of the cover in the game. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Viking is a fantastic game. Again, not much of a story, but not much of a story needed when you're just fighting to basically survive in the Viking world, which is really cool. It's a very cool concept. Next up is the Worms Collection, Worms or Worms Ultimate Mayhem, and Worms 2 Armageddon. Worms games, very fun with friends, nothing really else past that. The campaigns aren't anything special. Main purpose of these games is for gamer score for me, or just to take over to my friend's house and mess around. Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Edition, Enhanced Edition, the Silver Box Edition, as most people call it. But a lot better than Skyrim, in my opinion. The arena mode's fantastic. The graphics are very good. The storytelling is fantastic, is amazing. The pickup system's not that bad. The actual combat is not. There's hardly anything wrong with the combat, if I can think of it. The only thing I can think of is blocking. Can sometimes be a bit of a challenge, but I mean, it's fine with me. I love the Witcher series. Witcher 3 comes out right around my birthday, like 10 days from my birthday, so maybe I'll get it. WWE 2K14. 30 years WrestleMania mode was the main reason for buying this game. It's fantastic for that purpose, and I think many people agree with me on that, but once you get past that, it's basically any other WWE game, so I don't know. Hopefully, 2K15 was good, just career mode. That was really it, though, again. Alright, so here we go. Over to the first pile. How am I going to do this? Alright. Let's go from top to bottom, I guess. I'm not going to take these out. So, first up is Afro Samurai. Samuel L. Jackson did the main character voice for this game. It's, from what I heard, it's pretty, just a comedic game, mostly. But I should play it eventually. I didn't buy this new. I bought it used for $6. So don't go buy this. And buy that. I'll try the game. AMP3 snowboarding game. Very good game actually. It has a campaign, which is kind of odd for a snowboarding game, I guess. Easy achievements, which is really nice. So I'm gonna hopefully complete that soon. Actually, in Beautiful Katamari, it's sealed because it's rare to find sealed. Bionic Commando, it's a free roam. If anyone ever read the Bionic Commando comics, same character, same idea, just a free roam game, so it's pretty fun. Borderlands 2 is right here. Man, if you haven't played Borderlands, the Handsome Collection's coming out on the Xbox One. I recommend getting that for $60. Get all 3 games, I think. Brutal Legend, it's a great RPG rock game. Jack Black, main character, very good game. I enjoyed it a lot. The graphics aren't terrible in that game too, which is pretty nice. Except it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, excuse me. Good game in its time. After MW3 came out, the Infinity Ward gave up on the game, and now it's just all hackers, so it's no really point in playing multiplayer anymore. Chrome Hound's the mech game. Not very many of those on consoles nowadays. And reason why is this map is huge, and you go literally like a mile an hour, so it takes a while to get from one side of the map to the other. But once you do and you get into actual battle in the actual game, it is fun. So it takes like probably an hour to get through the boring stuff, and then the game's fun. Dante's Inferno, it's a great RPG. For those of you who played God of War on the PS3, that's the Xbox edition of God of War. So yeah, you know God of War is on 360. Shaky cam, man. Darkness, it's a first-person shooter where you have like these dark arms that help you, like you're almost a demented person, and it's pretty good. Pretty detailed story. The graphics aren't anything like they were back when it originally came out, but still pretty fun. Oh, my phone's going off. Oh, geez, it's unprofessional. Let me mute that. But anyway, now up to Dark Sector. It's third-person shooter. It's a shooter. I know. It's 3-bladed, like almost boomerang type thing, except that's 3 sides. It's not really a boomerang. Oops, I almost dropped the camera. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Very good game. It's hard though at first if you don't get used to it. But it's very fun once you do. The graphics are good. Very good story.